Good evening, Oswego, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Catherine.
And I'm Catherine Daniewicz. Tonight we begin with a story out of our own Oswego. SUNY Oswego is enhancing their guarantee. Students will receive $300 upon graduating within the 4 years. Christy Eck, the president's interim chief of staff, said that this incentive could provide students with a jump start on job hunting, graduate school applications, and transitioning into their adult lives.
The message behind earning this incentive is showing students the value of graduating in 4 years. If you graduate within the deadline, you not only earn the $300, but you won't have to spend another semester paying for classes and books, as well as all of your other expenses.
We'll have more on these stories in just a minute, but first, a quick check of your weather outside with Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Molly Matat.
Hey, a very good evening, you guys. Back in the studio, I'm standing right outside the campus center on this Wednesday evening, and let me tell you, it is shaping up to be a chilly one. As you can see, I've got my scarf, my winter jacket, even my gloves on, because if you step out this evening as we look at your current conditions, we're sitting at 30 right now. Definitely going to be a chilly evening, and that wind out of the east at 3 miles per hour starting to pick up just a little bit. So as you step out your door, it's actually going to feel a little bit colder than 30. So make sure you grab the jacket. But as you flip to the radar, if you do have any plans, no rain in sight for at least the next 24 hours to hinder any plans that you might have. And as we switch to the 3-day, you can see tomorrow's shaping up to be a great sunny day with a couple passing clouds. But on Friday, the rain does make a comeback. The clouds start to prevail in our area. And is that snow I see on Saturday? I'll have a full look at your forecast right after the break. But for now, I'm going to send it back indoors with Mike and Catherine.
Thanks, Molly. A mistrial in the 2004 injury lawsuit against Rick Springfield was caused by a comment left on a website. Back in 2004, a Liverpool resident brought the 1980s pop icon to court, claiming that he fell on her. However, new evidence posted on his social media website has forced State Supreme Court Justice Anthony Paris to declare the case a mistrial. This is the first trial in New York this close to jury deliberations that was thrown out due to social media.
A new policy has been implemented in Ithaca this fall. It's a guideline telling off-duty police officers when they should and should not respond. In most cases, it said they should call an on-duty officer unless it's an extreme emergency. They made these rules to keep everyone more safe because the on-duty officer has more protection gear and weapons versus an off-duty officer.
A father is facing manslaughter charges after his 13-month-old son was found dead. Oneida County officers were called to a home in Bridgewater early morning when Ian Goldman's son, Braden, was found unresponsive. The baby was declared dead, but an autopsy confirmed that the death was a homicide. Ian Goldman was arrested and is currently arraigned in the town of Floyd Court on charge of first-degree manslaughter.
Edward Wagner, Jr., the incumbent Owasco supervisor, has filed a lawsuit in Cayuga County Court asking the judge to count 2 absentee ballots that were thrown out. They were not counted because they arrived in the same envelope that wasn't sealed all the way. He said he wants all the votes to be counted because they could be the deciding votes. As it stands now, his challenger has 714 votes to his 713. Election law states that the ballots have to arrive in an envelope, but nothing about how many can be in said envelope.
SUNY campuses across the state are seeing more fresh fruits and veggies than ever thanks to a new grant.
Olivia Eugenio tells us how SUNY Oswego is trying to keep the apple from falling far away from the tree.
You've heard the phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But when SUNY Oswego students eat apples, they're helping keep local farmers in business.
In 2003, we first went to Dave Johnson from C's Farms, and we wanted to look at what were the local products that were available year-round.
Local farmers produced about 20,000 pounds worth of apples in the 2012 to 2013 school year. And with each apple weighing about half of a pound, that means in total the farmers produced about 40,000 apples. That's good. The Farm to Campus program has been implemented in 4 SUNY campuses, but thanks to a new $100,000 grant from the American Farmland Trust, the program can continue to grow.
It has actually helped us immensely because in the past I only had maybe 3 or 4 employees and my wife and I, and now we have like 8 or 9.
But moving forward, Craig Trubb, the director of resident dining for Auxiliary Services, says the college is working on a plan to freeze locally grown products.
Some of our frozen vegetables have been coming from near Brockport, New York for the last 2 years. So we probably look to be expanding upon that. That's part of the grant.
Auxiliary Services hopes to use interns from Oswego to help determine which parts of the program are successful and which parts need improvement. Olivia Eugenio, Oswego Now.
Police are investigating whether a Syracuse apartment fire was intentionally started. The apartment building on Polk Street has had 4 separate fires started within the last 4 days, and police believe that 3 of those were started on purpose. From the fire, 12 out of the 28 residents are now being housed by the Red Cross. Both fire and police officials are now interviewing residents, but no suspect has been identified as of yet. If you have any helpful information, please call 315-442-5222.
A large synthetic drug operation has been disbanded and led to 10 arrests, according to Richard Hartunian, the U.S. Attorney. The drug ring was a multi-state but based in Syracuse operation. If convicted, the defendants, ranging from age 23 to 55, could face 20 years in prison, a $1 million fine, and 3 years post-release supervision. 100 to 200 pounds of marijuana were being trafficked per month. These drugs were labeled with names like Scooby Snacks to target kids. Numerous handguns, synthetic chemicals, and drugs, about $75,000 in cash, 2 vehicles, and equipment used for making the drugs were recovered during the raid on many of the houses used for trafficking.
Owen Benjamin visited campus earlier this week in the Writer Talk series on the Oswego campus.
Carson Metcalf discussed how this filmmaker got his start in Oswego.
It was an afternoon filled with laughter in the Campus Center auditorium as writer and comedian Owen Benjamin paid a visit to the Oswego State campus as part of the Living Writers series. Benjamin talked about his life from growing up in Oswego to his current days being involved in film, television, and stand-up.
If there's bad energy and I feed off energy, how do I get through that? I think it comes from being raised in Oswego, New York. When you open your door and you just think, this is hell. I'm going to make the best out of my life.
Benjamin has toured with the likes of Vince Vaughn and Kevin James. You might also recognize him from the TBS sitcom Sullivan and Sons. During his event, Benjamin took questions from the audience. He discussed the places he had been to, the adventures he has had, and also talked about what it means to be a comedian personally.
Where your life looks so great, but it's so hard. But if you take the steps to make it better, like be healthy, exercise, find friends in each city that you remain friends with for a long period of time, work hard, spend your day writing versus just sleeping, you know, you can make it into a wonderful experience. Like, you know, the whole country's my neighborhood. You know, I can't wait to have fish in Miami and then go to Atlanta for a game and then go to Chicago and hang out with the Blackhawks and play, you know, touch football. You know, this is my life. Or go to Seattle and talk to someone about a microchip. Like, that's great.
If you're interested in seeing Owen Benjamin perform live, he will be at the Funny Bone in Syracuse this Thursday through Sunday. In the Campus Center, Carson Metcalf, WTOP 10 News.
A student art exhibition is taking place downtown. The exhibition, called Painterly Prints, is located at 186 West 1st Street. The art was done by Oswego students in monoprint style, which is a type of printmaking where the artist paints directly on a printing press flat plate. Instead of having multiple copies, which is what a printing press is designed for, these works can only be copied once. Don't fret if you think you've missed it. The exhibition will still be held through November 30th.
St. Mary's School in Oswego was being demolished, but a local woman decided that she needed to save the statue that sat atop. The statue of the Holy Family has sat atop the building since 1905. Moving the statue was no easy task. She had to find the crane herself because there's no money in the demolisher's budget for it. The statue was successfully moved to her local church, where it will stay for many years to come.
Coming up after the break, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg is one step closer to making New York the healthiest place to live.
And later, will there be snow just in time for Thanksgiving? Chief Meteorologist Molly Matat has your answer right after the break. Stay tuned, you're watching WTOP 10 News.
Hey Laker fans, remember the following. Be loud, be proud, be funny, be civil.
Above all, be positive.
We've cleaned up our act on the ice. Now it's your turn to clean up yours in the stands.
Malcolm, you know energy savers last 6 times longer than regular bulbs.
This isn't my room.
It's Baron Davis's.
The basketball player? This is his room?
I don't live here.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
So, do you have any questions?
What is your soup of the day?
We have a mulligatawny soup.
Oh, do you have any specials?
We have a steak special today.
Oh, how's that cooked?
That's pan-seared and then...
Does it come with a side dish? Is it grilled? Can I have it steamed? So, what do you recommend? What kind of pie do you have? You an actor. Aren't you from Ohio?
Any questions?
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
I got no balls for losing. Shocking.
Drives it road all the time. Just had a few drinks. Just can't be happening.
Are we clear? Clear.
We're just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. He'll be fine. I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Oswego. Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Molly Matat here with a quick look at what you can expect from your Oswego weather for the next couple of days. Now, before I get to any weather business, I want to check out this great SkyCam 10 shot right on the top of the Shinneman Science Center here on campus. Look at this beautifully lit campus tonight. As I'm going to get into, the weather tonight is actually shaping up to be pretty good. So if you want to take a stroll, have any evening plans, I say go ahead and go for it, because as you can see, it's looking like a beautiful evening here in Oswego. Now, beautiful doesn't necessarily mean warm. As you can see right now, the mercury sits at 30 degrees. Clouds are starting to build, and I was just outside, and this east wind at 3 miles per hour is actually shaping up to be a little bit quicker. So this real feel could drop maybe into the 20s as we head throughout the evening. Definitely something to keep in mind. Now, as we look at the state temperature, this chilly theme really prevails throughout the state. We got a cold spot in Glens Falls at 21, 22 in Plattsburgh, 26 in Albany, 25 in Poughkeepsie, and our warm spot in 39 in New York City. New York City, Buffalo, and Jamestown are our only cities this evening above the freezing line. Everyone else is looking at lower 30s to upper 20s, so keep that in mind as you start your evening plans and into tomorrow morning. Now, your top weather headlines for this evening. Tomorrow's looking sunny and slightly warmer. Not as much sun, but those clouds will act as a blanket and we'll actually see higher temperatures than we did today. However, cherish that nice weather, because as you can see, clouds and rain do move in by Friday, and we are looking at quite the cold blast as we head into the weekend. I'll get to that in just a couple minutes. But before we do that, let's check out the national radar. As you can see, a lot of activity happening in a lot of the country. A lot of not severe weather, but heavy precipitation in the green and yellow area. But what we want to be concerned with is this precipitation happening in Wisconsin and Illinois. And you can see there's a mix of snow and rain, even some heavy rain in yellow areas. That's going to start to move into our area by the weekend. But as we pan into the regional radar right now, nothing in sight for Oswego and really most of New England. We're looking at very clear conditions. So for tonight, you can expect mostly clear skies. We're going to bottom out at 30, though. A little bit chilly because we don't have those clouds overhead to keep our heat in, with winds out of the southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, as we head to tomorrow, the clouds will build, but we are significantly warmer than we were today. We're going to top out at 46, with winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and here's why. We have this high pressure system that was formerly anchored right in southern Canada, right on the northern shore of Lake Ontario. That's starting to move to the east, but it's doing so very slowly. So we still have that sinking air, those great clear conditions. We're going to hold off these showers for at least the next 24 hours, but this will continue to drift, and these showers will start to move into our area. But before we get to that, your day planner, planning out your day tomorrow for your morning commute. We're sitting at 35, a little bit chilly, mostly cloudy. We warm up to 43 by your noon lunch hour. We hit that high of 46 right at around 1 or 2 o'clock, and we drop off from there. So your evening commute at 5 o'clock, we'll be sitting at 41, and rain will be approaching, as you can see for our forecast. Showers later on, I'm going to say after 10 or 11 p.m., and then we'll dry up, and the showers will start again into Friday morning, but we're only going to bottom out at around 40 with winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now the big story that we want to look at is this weekend. As you can see, the jet stream is going to dip pretty far to our south, but this isn't going to happen until Saturday. This very cold air is going to move in, and the way that it's going to do that is this cold front. Now a cold front separates cold air from warm air. As you can see, it presses into our area, and it's right on our doorstep on Saturday, but as it moves through into Sunday, we make that transition from rain to snow, as you can see on the 5-day forecast. Showers start on Friday. We get a little bit of mixed precipitation on Saturday, and we move right to snow from here on out. Look at these temperatures Saturday heading into Sunday, 28 as we head into Sunday, and we're only going to warm up to around 30. So I'm going to say our taste of winter in November here in Oswego is finally here, cooling off quite a bit.
Absolutely. I already thought it was cold enough. I mean, I started this morning telling me to put on a winter jacket.
Yes, and the morning today, it was a chilly commute into the studio, and I can't imagine. I bundled up today, scarf, gloves, whole nine. So break out the winter gear into the next week.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you, Molly.
Thanks, Molly.
And we're going to look at your state singer. A Syracuse man waiting to stand trial has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. 25-year-old Demetrius Huddleston shot Jermaine Whitehead, a distant relative, back in August 2012. Whitehead's body had been found behind a shed by means of a bullet to the head. However, Whitehead was found with a gun, raising the idea that Huddleston may have acted in self-defense. Huddleston pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter and second-degree criminal possession of a weapon and has been promised with 10 years in prison.
A Cortica commission was formed to prevent another weekend of chaos from ensuing. They have formed after the mass celebration of the football team's last-minute victory, destroyed parts of the town, and led to over 120 arrests. SUNY Cortland's president, Eric Bitterbaum, sent a letter via email to all the students who attend that university. The letter stated how disappointed he, alumni, faculty, and the majority of students feel about the situation. He states that actions like the ones that were displayed last weekend will not be tolerated, and ended the letter with, "The recovery begins now."
New York City has become the first large city in the country to ban the sale of tobacco to those under 21. Mayor Michael Bloomberg planned to sign the landmark legislation on Tuesday, which would raise the age for legal tobacco sales from 18 to 21. This move was made in an attempt to decrease smoking rates in the young age group, as well as prevent them from developing the habit in the first place. The bill had been passed by the City Council late last month, as well as a bill that would increase the price of cigarettes. In Illinois and Hawaii are joining the list of states approving same-sex marriage. Governor Pat Quinn said he will put Illinois on the right side of history when he signs his state's bill into law later today, to take effect June 1st.
In all, 16 states and the District of Columbia now have legal same-sex marriage. And as Samuel Burke found out, same-sex weddings are becoming big business.
So you guys can have your poster in the post marquee box, and I'll have it illuminated.
Brian Rubin and Toby Sowers have been planning their New York City wedding for more than a year and a half.
They'll be coming into the theater.
They've decided to hold it here at New York's Hudson Theater, and big weddings, gay or straight, do not come cheap.
It's expensive. It is expensive to get married in New York City, and let's just say I was laughed at when I said $100,000.
Just a couple of years ago, gay marriage wasn't even legal yet in New York, but now same-sex couples like Brian and Toby have the right to spend the time and the money to plan a wedding that rivals a Broadway production. Same-sex marriages with all the bells and whistles were rare just a few years ago. This is what many once looked like: quick, inexpensive ceremonies at town halls.
Vows to you.
Now, as same-sex marriage has become more accepted, many couples are choosing elaborate wedding ceremonies.
Couples who are actually legally marrying are spending 3 times as much as those who are having simple civil unions and domestic partnerships.
In the first year of legalized gay marriage in New York, same-sex couples spent an average of about $9,000. Nuptials for straight couples came in above $37,000. But as same-sex weddings get bigger, so do the price tags, and that gap is narrowing.
20% of our business is now same-sex couples. It's given us a nice boost.
It's a boom for everyone involved in a wedding, including planners, caterers, florists, and bakers.
Actually, it's increased our wedding business for about an extra 50%. They're either extremely elaborate or they're tiny and just for really close friends and families.
I think that spending the amount of money we're spending and throwing the party we're spending is a way of showing our pride
And it's funny because we're showing our pride just by doing what everyone else does,
Right.
but I think it's just by being present, you're showing that you are equal and that you want the same things, you do it the same way. I think it's nice.
There's still 6 months to go before their big day, but it's not too soon for something common to all weddings, no matter how expensive, gay or straight, a little case of the jitters.
Scary.
I know, now I'm getting nervous.
Now you're getting
actually.
cold
Yeah,
feet?
yeah, yeah.
After the break, Alex Edinger will give you the update on Oswego's women's basketball game against Hamilton.
And later, a cat wanted his chance in the spotlight. We'll have the video for you that you have to see to believe. But first, here's a look at your late night menu. Stay tuned, you're watching WTOP 10 News.
The forest is precious. One careless act caused by people and its beauty could be gone for a lifetime. Protect our friends in the forest.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The Hollywood View is back with a brand new season and a brand new look. Join me for non-stop Hollywood coverage news right here on WTOP 10 every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m.
Hi, I'm CNN's Rob Marciano, and you're watching WTOP 10, your television station.
Every night before the show, me and the guys, we like to loosen up a little bit. Blue, 42, hike! Every now and then, Dan likes to take it a little too far. But hey, the show's all about competition, so we'll take it.
Stupid Dan with stupid football and stupid running.
Thanks. You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry.
Pastor Honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. In sports tonight, did the women's basketball team continue their hot play?
And Alex Rodriguez is unhappy again. Let's take a full look at your sports with Alex Edinger.
Thanks, Catherine. Tonight, the Lakers women's basketball team took on Hamilton College and emerged victorious. The Lakers scored 76 points to Hamilton's 72 and won their third straight game to start the season. Samantha Graber had 21 points for Hamilton. For Oswego, Paula Eggleston led the Lakers with 12 rebounds, and Jen Robbins had another big game for the Lakers. There she is shooting a three. After scoring 30 points Saturday night, she had 21 tonight to lead the Lady Lakers. Heather Herbert also had a big game for the Lakers, scoring 21 points and 9 boards, just missing out on the double-double. Oswego will next take on U of R next Tuesday. In breaking news, Prince Fielder has been traded to the Texas Rangers for Ian Kinsler. Fielder had a limited no-trade clause, and the Rangers are reportedly included in it. Now, however, he has the right to waive his clause, and it's believed he will do so. With the deal, the Tigers will unload approximately $100 million off of their books, with Fielder's contract going to the Rangers. Fielder, at 29 years old, hit .279 with 25 home runs and 106 RBIs last season. Kinsler, at age 31, hit .277 with 12 homers and 72 RBIs. The trade is in its final stages and is only pending physicals. Now, tonight, the New York Knicks are taking on the Indiana Pacers at Madison Square Garden. The reeling Knicks come in at a disappointing 3-7, while the Pacers have looked every bit like the team that took the Heat to 7 games in last year's conference finals. Now, the 9-1 Pacers have looked good with a bolstered bench, including offseason acquisition Louis Scala, while the Knicks' last performance had Carmelo Anthony voicing his displeasure. I'll keep you updated with the score later in the newscast. Now, the saga of Alex Rodriguez continues as the troubled slugger stormed out of a meeting with MLB officials earlier today. Rodriguez left his own grievance hearing after being notified that MLB Commissioner Bud Selig will not be made to testify in the case. He took his frustration out shortly afterwards on a local AM radio show. When asked about Selig, A-Rod said the following: "He hates my guts. It's 100% personal. This is all about his legacy. To put me on his mantle would be a big trophy for him." If the appeal fails, Rodriguez will serve the longest ban for steroids in baseball history at 211 games. Back to you, Mike and Catherine.
Coming up, Obama has a habit that the First Lady may not be too fond of. Find out what it is after the break.
We'll also be joined by Alex Ettinger, who will give you your Knicks-Pacers score update, and Melly Matat with your Class Day forecast. Stay tuned, you're watching WTOP 10 News.
Get your Smokey on. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference, because 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Down 70 to 35, and the Cougars were getting smoked like a cheap cigar.
Hey guys, you should watch our show on WITUP.
What? You mean WTOP?
No, it's WITUP.
No, it's WTOP.
Who told you that?
Common sense?
The mailbox and the traffic light. Both are ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car. Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me.
Feed the pig.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 News. Just call him the singer-in-chief. First Lady Michelle Obama says the president sings all the time, especially in the bathroom. He's not afraid to belt out a tune or two in public either. Last year, he sang Al Green's Let's Stay Together at an event at the Apollo Theater in Harlem. He also sang along to Sweet Home Chicago for a PBS performance at the White House. Mrs. Obama says she's not jealous of her husband's singing skills because she has her own talent. She's the better dancer.
It looks like one cat in Canada really wanted its 5 minutes of fame. You can see the frisky feline perched on top of a cameraman's head, and next the cat hops over to the camera. It happened Monday in Bonnyville, Alberta, northeast of Edmonton. The CBC News team was shooting a story about the cameras on school buses. You can see the reporter in the background certainly got a laugh out of the cat's escapade. Me-ouch.
Before we say goodnight, here's one final look at your forecast as Chief Meteorologist Molly Matat.
Hey, thanks guys. As we look at your ClassCast, you can see we're going to warm right up from our chilly start of 33 up to our high of 46. And as always, you can follow us on all forms of social media. Twitter at WTOP10. We tweet updates all the time. Like us on Facebook, and if you have any cool sunset, weather, or snow pictures, send them on over to meteorology@WTOP10.com.
Alex, how about that update for that game?
Well, it ended up going into overtime. The Pacers ended up winning 103-96. Paul George, 35 points, 5 steals, and Carmelo Anthony with 30 points and 18 rebounds.
Wow, absolutely. That'll do it for us here. For the entire 10 News team, I'm Mike Cothran.
And I'm Catherine Danuit. Stay tuned for Talkin' Sports with Tans.